Good morning, everyone. This is me, Andre Paat, and with my group, we are presenting our research today carnivorous pest control. Josh, you may take the floor.
Thank you, Andre. Abstract. With the rapid incline of our planet's pollution and the more waste that is being produced every day, it is only a matter of time now until our species meet a bitter end. This is why our research is here to help prevent some aspects of that. Via the use of carnivorous plants in homes, we can now replace the toxic sprays that we use to control pests as well as reduce air pollution. Though some plants are proven to be ineffective to some types of pests, this is why we use different types of plants for situations in which they cover each other's flaws, whilst also researching and making discoveries with the plants. We use data obtained from greenhouses as well as the research from the International Carnivorous Plant Society, ICPS, to prepare for the facilitation of plants and also learn more about the different prey that they consume. After thorough research, we have concluded that the effect and diet of each plant in its environment. We believe that it is sustainable and also effective in catching pests. This can help stop air pollution whilst also diffusing discarded remains of the plants to use as fertilizer and also help lessen waste. This will broaden new horizons and will provide more data for these plants if applied. Introduction. Our world is ever growing, and one factor that is always affected is our ecosystem. With the world already being destroyed by carbon emissions, chemicals, and also pollution, this research aimed to at least lessen pollution from the chemical industry. One other factor of these is safety, as carnivorous plants are not harmful. Bygone can harm humans if inhaled and or when it somehow gets into one's body. Not only will these plants help lessen pollution, but they can also help us proceed in life by using them as natural remedies to medicine. It is proven that Dianea muscipula is a natural remedy to fevers and such. The repopulation or reintroduction of these new plants to new places will surely bump up our oxygen production while also lessening the need for chemicals in our skies and oceans. As we can all observe, humanity is progressing and our woodlands are beginning to disappear. Not only that, but lands containing grass are being sold. The least we could do to rehabilitate human growth is own a plant to help with oxygen production. Once all these plants have been repopulated, it would become a big help through our ecosystem and us to at least slow down the deterioration of our world. Andre?
Thank you, Josh. I will be taking care of the next slide, which is our goals and objectives. Our goal is TRAP thrive, replace, adapt, and progress. We want these plants to thrive as well as our minds. Next, we want to replace pollution and harmful chemicals to our oceans and our air. We want these plants to not only adapt but also be accessible to those who are in need of them. And we want these plants to progress and our minds also to progress. Next will be the methodology. Josh, you may take the floor.
Thank you, Andre. Methodology. Step C 2.1. Obtaining and preparation of biosamples. 2.1.1. The researcher shall obtain the Drosera sundew through greenhouses or online sites, and once obtained, preparations shall be made to habilitate the Droseras and give it its needs for the race that the experiment has not begun yet. Note that all non-living organisms shall be fully digested before the experiment begins. 2.1.2. The researcher shall once again obtain the Dianea muscipula in greenhouses or online, and once obtained shall be prepared and fed until the research begins. 2.1.3. The researcher shall buy the bygone spray from a store and should keep it as said in the directions. This shouldn't be tampered with or opened until the experiment has begun to maximize effectiveness. 2.1.4. The preparation of terrarium and collection of desired soil for the plants shall be given. Outside factors like humidity, air pressure, and such will be regulated. Along with these, catching home pests shall be conducted and will be introduced to the terrarium very early on, before the experiment has begun. The pests should be supplied with everything they need so they don't die. Step 2.2. Introduction and cycle for the research experiment. 2.2.1. Safety procedures should be followed when handling specimens and chemicals. Masks, gloves, and eye protection shall
Huwag
be
kayong
always
maingay.
present when worn. Before and after the experiment, the researcher shall have clean hands and disinfect his body. After that, recording of data shall take place and all materials used for protection shall be cleaned and sterilized for the next use. 2.2.2. The introduction of plants and bygone to the environment shall be done right at the start of the experiment. The introduction period shall be of 1 week and the rest of the experiment will be 3 months. 2.2.3. Once the 3 months have ended, another week shall be allotted to observe what will happen to the environment without any tamperment by humans, but should still be observed and sprays shall still be administered. Andre?
Thank you, Josh. I will now be handling over the results and discussions. As you can see from the first graph, 100% of our respondents said that they are most familiar with the bygone insecticide. Next, when asked which type of soil they have on them, they have garden soil and loam soil. When asked about carnivorous plants that they are familiar with, most of them answered Venus flytrap, and some only answered the familiarity between the pitcher plant and also the common sundew. Next is when given the choice to take care of the carnivorous plants, most of them answered the Venus flytrap, while some only answered to take care of the three. When asked about which pests they see most around their home, most of them answered ants. When asked how many months they are willing to participate in the study, they said 1 to 2 months. When asked which laboratory equipment is readily available to them, they answered gloves and masks, which deems them ready for the experiment. When asked about medical conditions, they answered that they don't have any medical conditions, while some only have skin conditions and also asthma. When asked which terrarium they are willing to take, most of them answered tropical, while the others are split between continental and dry. When asked about the environment they live in, most of them answered tropical again. And when asked about the purpose in associating themselves with our experiment, they asked they answered with curiosity, next is medical, personal, and then professional. When asked what way they think this would likely affect the experiment on the environment, most of them answered this will reduce pollution. And when asked how this would affect their daily lives, most of them answered good and great. Thank you. Next part will be handled by Sam.
For conclusion, my friends and I have considered the growth and usage of carnivorous plants along with the reduction of toxic aerosol spray, and not also the cultivation and the adaptation of these plants to their surrounding environment. Not only that, but their practical uses after they die. The fact that this is organic and is moving on with a green thumb is something to prove that our study has good intention as well as potential. The goal of these carnivorous plants, which align with ours, is to trap. Though this research has bumps to overcome, I and my friends could say that this is a research that is brimming with potential and has nuanced approach to controlling pests. Adding to that, based on the research we have done and survey results, this could have a very good effect and is definitely achievable. Let's just take the will of a person and how smooth this research shall go. Alongside with variables that may cause problems, we also look at future possibilities for our studies. Recommendation: the location of which carnivorous plants are bought should be less vague and should be stated where online, and which greenhouses are used, as not all greenhouses have carnivorous plants. The price and availability of these carnivorous plants have to be compared to bygone, so that we could conclude whether or not it is worth it buying bygone over carnivorous plants. Assuming that we are excluding environmental factors and focusing more on the price and growing a carnivorous plants. For references, these are the links and pages that we have used for our study. Feel free to visit them. That is all. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening.